Yeah, today I have the Angstrum Incarnon here, and it's another Incarnon ricochet pistol similar to the Dual Toxicus or the Lado. The one thing that makes it unique though is that it shoots fireball projectiles and does tons and tons of heat damage, and it's really fun. It's one of those cool like power fantasy weapons. It's just fun to shoot giant fireballs out of your gun. Um, you could do like a ball loadout and run like the Latron Incarnon and the Angstrom Incarnon with it and have a pretty cool time with it. So I'm gonna hop down here and show off how this thing looks. See, get our Incarnon charged up, switch it over, and now we shoot out these little tiny fireballs and have a hoot of a time. And most of these guys should die pretty easily from the ricochet. Oh, look at him. He didn't even get heat proc at all. Bam, dead. Sometimes the balls do have a mind of their own as well and kind of bounce wherever, but most of the time they seek and home onto enemies. But that's it. It's a pretty much just like a bullet hose weapon. You start just chucking fireballs everywhere. Doesn't look like fireballs because of my purple energy color, but it is what it is. On to my Incarnon Perks and what I have selected here. I have the shield one on. This one is on tons of different Incarnate weapons, but with overshields, you get increases to your base damage. Once again, this first one, 9 times out of 10, it really doesn't matter which one you have active, to be honest. But this one here, with the increase, when your energy max is over 700, you get the increased damage multiplier. I have so few builds where I'm hitting this that like I just never run it. Honestly, if you are using it on a Warframe that you are hitting this on, you could swap back between them and choose which one you want. Whether you want the extra base damage with the foray, or do you want the increase to the base critical multiplier? I think both are good. I don't really think you can go wrong here on either option, as long as you're activating them or not, to be honest. I don't think these are must-haves to have active to make this thing work good. As for our next option here, I have projectile speed. We are shooting these homing projectiles, so it is nice. It is definitely like a feels good, comfy thing for me. As for the other two options here, I don't even really think they're that great. Even is the reload speed one, where you're not really using this thing ever in its normal form, so you don't really need the reload speed. Reload speed also affects your swap speed from normal to incarnate mode, but even then, I don't think you need it, so I just don't have that one equipped. And then increase base ammo capacity to +9. Once again, this is like another, uh, you know, base form perk for the gun, so you're not really using this ever, to be honest. So I'm just here on projectile speed, and good. It feels good anyways. It's nice to have bonus projectile speed on this. It's even good for your rockets in normal form to hit enemies that you're aiming at and get your incarnate form charged up faster. As for our last perk here, this is another one where honestly, you could just kind of close your eyes and throw a dart at the screen and pick one. But I'm on the basically the condition overload perk here. My build only has heat and corrosive on, so I know this looks bad, but typically I'm running a sentinel. My warframe might have nourish. There might be someone in my squad, priming enemies with a ton of elements. 9 times out of 10 enemies in this game, if you're playing on public or you're running a pet, enemies are going to be primed 90% of the time you're playing. But as for the other two, I don't think the other two are bad options at all. Like I said, you could literally just close your eyes, throw a dart at the screen and pick one, and your gun, your Angstrom will do just fine. But I just picked this one because this is the one that I feel works best for me. So pick whatever. Honestly, the really only must pick here is like the projectile speed. Everything else is just kind of whatever. The incarnate form is just that good. So on to my mods, which is gonna look crazy here. I have a boatload of forma. Um, Now I know I'm locked in to corrosive heat here for my modding setup, and this is because my main use for the Angstrom is when I was farming the Hematite for Plague Star. That guy's also weak to blast, and this thing has innate blast on it, so that's why I'm locked into this, and that's why I have 7 form on it. This was from my Plague Star farming back in the day. But even with being locked into corrosive heat, this thing just does so much damage. It really doesn't matter like what elemental combos you run on it. You can really just run whatever feels good to you and have a good time. But just want to explain myself there, and that's why we're locked into corrosive heat. Not saying it's the best elemental combo, you know, Biss best in slot. That's why I'm running it. That's what niche this weapon fills for me, and when I ran it the most was for Plague Star, so I was running corrosive heat stuff, and with the bonus blast. As for other mods that aren't corrosive heat, um, galvanized diffusion, more multi-shot is awesome. Lethal torrent, more fire rate, more multi-shot is awesome. This thing actually has good crit stats, so I do have primed pistol gambit on here and primed target cracker. And then as for everything else going on, I have galvanized shot. The extra status chance is nice, and the condition overload's very nice. As for arcane, we are just loading up on heap rocks out the butt, so I do have Cascadia Flare on. I do think it's the best option here. I could see a world where you run Merciless instead, maybe, if that's your thing. Up to you, kind of, but I'm on Flare. I think Flare is the best option here for this weapon by its own. It's decent fire rate. You're stacking up so many heap rocks. It's going to be active like 24/7. 2 thumbs up for me. So that's my modding setup. Very simple. It is 7 forma. I did put a lot into this thing while I was grinding Plague Star with it back in the day. Hopefully we get another one and I can run it again, but that's what I got. So that's the weapon in all its glory over there. Those are my Incarnon perks that I chose, and that's my modding setup and like my thinking behind it and why I'm locked into corrosive heat. So I'm gonna go hop into a Lewis survival on the moon, and I'll all right. We're here on some Lewis survival, and we're just gonna hold down left click the entire time with the bullet hose fireball launcher here, and do a-okay. I don't have prime sure-footed on my Citrine, so when I do have to go from Incarnate mode to normal mode and charge it back up, I might knock myself over, but it's whatever. But yeah, this thing's really good. If you know kind of deal. It's really bugged on bosses whenever updates come out. Back when Whispers in the Walls came out, it was bugged on the like fragmented bosses, and it was just one-shotting them. It was ignoring damage attenuation. It does the same thing on the face-off bosses still, I think, on the Tekrot Bababua guys. I don't know if that's patched. I'm pretty sure that's why it was so good on the Hematite, in the normal mode specifically. It was bugged and like one-shotting Hematite heads. It was bugged during the Isle Weaver event. It was, if you were lucky enough to get it during your rotation, it was one-shotting the fragmented one bosses. It's pretty, for some reason, this specific Incarnate weapon, whenever there's attenuated bosses out and about, it ignores damage attenuation. I don't know why or what or how or why, what it's happening with the Angstrum, but it happens a lot. Whenever there's a new update and there's an attenuated boss, you will see people testing their Angstrum out on it if they can. I got lucky enough to do it once on the Isle Weaver stuff, and I was just like, oh, it's bugged again. Pretty sure they fixed it though. I don't know. I feel like they always shadow fix it without saying anything, you know. But I could be wrong. But it's been a pretty common bug. Or not. Maybe there's some intended, probably not. It's not intended to ignore attenuation, but for some reason, this thing is attenuation's worst enemy. Don't know why, how, or what, but it is pretty silly. I feel like there's another boss I'm forgetting that this thing was like one-shotting. I don't know. But oh man, Whispers in the Walls release in that event, if you didn't know, for the event currencies aren't supposed to be affected by resource boosters. But for some reason, if you were playing Yoreli and you were on Marilina when you killed a fragmented boss during the event, you got double the resources with your resource booster. I remember testing it live with a bunch of people. And we figured out that if you're on Marilina and you have a resource booster active, you got double the event currency drops, even when you weren't supposed to. And then people figured out the Angstrum stuff, so everyone was just running around on Urellis with the Angstrum, riding Marilena. It was pretty funny. But that got patched pretty quick. That got patched within like, oh, I want to say like 2 days of the event dropping, the clan event. If I remember, it was fixed pretty quick. But while it was around, it was pretty funny. But yeah, we are kind of chilling here with our fireball launcher. Like I said, I do have my pet on, so we are priming the guys. And we are getting the effect from our condition overload perks and galvanized shot and stuff like that, so. Misery. Where are you? Boop. Should tear right through this guy. Yeah, just shred right through him, just chew right through him. Pretty easy. I kind of wish we got a tighter hallway for this thing. We kind of got 2 really open rooms, which kind of sucks. But and our KPM's okay. Definitely didn't hit a 100 KPM here, which kind of blows, but I think that's just room diff, to be honest. But yeah, Prisoner Angstrum, it is good. It shoots fireballs. And I've always liked the way this thing looks. It kind of looks like a... Oh, what's the word? Like a Mac 10 or like Uzi, just like a one-handed SMG. I've always liked the way it looked. Thought it was pretty cool. I'm going to go hit this life support here. I'm shocked. We're at 400 kills. I feel like I shouldn't have to, but... I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm not picking up the mini drops that are spawning. Melt you. Get rid of these Thrax. One's gone. Melt this guy. He's gone. Yeah. I don't know. But I think we did a pretty okay job there. This gun's just really good. It's really fun. It's definitely worth all the form I put into it. I'm happy with my choices. What? That is Prisma Angstrum Incarnon, or just Angstrum Incarnon. Had a stroke there. But that's it. It's good. It launches fireballs. I think it looks cool. Like a Mac 10 little mini Uzi. One-handed SMG kind of deal. So, that's it. See you later.